Before his very eyes, his sons were slaughtered. "This will be the last thing you see," declared the Babylonian captain, blinding the king before binding him in chains. The survivors, humiliated and broken, were marched in long lines toward Babylon. Their laments filled the air. "Our God has forsaken us." Shackled and weary, they carried the weight of their sin and judgment. The once proud city of Jerusalem lay in ruins, and the people of Judah joined their northern brothers in exile. Yet even in Babylon, God did not abandon his people. In the courts of a foreign king, he displayed his power through his faithful servants, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men stood firm in their devotion, even amidst fiery trials and lions' dens, proclaiming the sovereignty of the God of Israel. Through the prophet Jeremiah, God continued to speak, offering words of hope that pierced the gloom of captivity. "The plans I have for you are for your welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. I will bring you back to this land." These promises shone like a beacon for the exiled Israelites. Even in their darkest hour, God's covenant remained unbroken. Judgment had come, but redemption and restoration would follow. The God who disciplined his people would also gather them back, proving his steadfast love and faithfulness. After 70 long years in exile, a moment of change arrived unexpectedly, shaking the foundations of history. On a decisive night, Cyrus the Great, king of Persia, conquered Babylon. His announcement, issued shortly after, was nothing short of astonishing. "The Lord, the God of heaven, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem. Let anyone among his people go up and rebuild the house of the Lord." The decree spread swiftly, reaching the ears of the Jewish exiles scattered across Babylon. Hope, long dormant, sprang to life. Among them rose Zerubbabel, a descendant of David, who stepped forward with conviction. "The Lord has opened a door," he declared. "Let us return and rebuild the temple." With hearts aflame and a renewed sense of purpose, the exiles began their journey back to Jerusalem, the city of their God. When they arrived, a wave of grief swept over them. The city lay in ruins, its walls broken and the temple reduced to ashes. Tears welled up as they whispered, "This was the city of our God." But Zerubbabel, undeterred by the desolation, stood resolute. "Let us start with the altar," he urged. "We will worship the Lord first." The people, inspired by his leadership, erected the altar amidst the rubble. Their first sacrifices rose like a fragrant offering to heaven, a testament to their faith in the God who had brought them back. With the altar complete, they began the arduous task of rebuilding the temple. Joy and determination filled the air as the foundation was laid, and the people sang with gratitude. "He is good. His steadfast love endures forever." Yet their joy was short-lived. Opposition arose swiftly from their enemies. "What are these feeble Jews doing?" the adversaries mocked, spreading fear and discouragement. Threats turned into schemes to halt the work. But Nehemiah, who had returned with a royal commission to rebuild Jerusalem's walls, inspired the people with his resolve. "Work with one hand," he commanded, "and hold your weapons with the other. Our God will fight for us." The people pressed on with unwavering determination. In just 52 days, the walls were completed, a feat so miraculous it left their enemies in awe. The city, once defenseless, now stood fortified. A solemn dedication followed, marked by weeping and rejoicing, as the nation renewed its covenant with God. They read aloud from the law, remembering his faithfulness even in their exile. But as the years passed, the voices of the prophets grew faint. A deep silence settled over Israel, and the heavens, once alive with divine words, became still. The intertestamental period began, an era of foreign rule, internal strife, and spiritual yearning. The rise of Alexander the Great brought sweeping changes to the known world. With his unstoppable army, he conquered vast territories, including Judea, spreading Greek culture and influence in his wake. Whispers followed his campaigns, shrouding him in an air of mystery. Some proclaimed him to be the son of Zeus, a divine figure destined to rule the earth. His victories seemed almost otherworldly, and tales of his lineage and power spread like wildfire, adding an almost mythical quality to his name. In Babylon, Alexander sought the favor of Marduk, the chief deity of the ancient city. Recognizing Marduk's association with kingship and divine authority, he ordered the restoration of the Exile, the great temple dedicated to the god, which had fallen into neglect under Persian rule. By honoring Marduk and participating in Babylonian rituals, Alexander presented himself as a divinely endorsed ruler, aligning his reign with the traditions of the lands he conquered. His reverence for local gods, alongside his bold declarations, added to the mystique that surrounded him, solidifying his place as both a conqueror and a figure of legend. "We will adopt their culture," Alexander declared, enforcing Hellenistic practices that began to erode Jewish traditions and identity. After Alexander's death, his vast empire splintered, and Judea became a pawn in the struggle between the Ptolemies of Egypt and the Seleucids of Syria. At first, Ptolemaic rule was tolerable, but Seleucid oppression grew unbearable. Under King Antiochus IV Epiphanes, the situation reached a breaking point. Determined to eradicate the Jewish faith, he issued a decree: ban their rituals, erect an altar to Zeus in the temple. The desecration was unimaginable, and the temple, once the dwelling place of the Lord, became a place of abomination. "This is an outrage," the people cried, their fury smoldering. In the small town of Modian, resistance ignited. Mattathias, an elderly priest, refused to bow to the oppressors. "Whoever is loyal to the Lord, follow me," he shouted, striking down a Greek envoy who sought to force pagan sacrifices. His defiance sparked a rebellion led by his sons, the Maccabees. Judah Maccabee, known as the Hammer, rose as a brilliant leader,